What is going on, everyone? MikeO back doing another mail day recap. Got a nice selection of stuff here that has come in recently. A few things from auction houses, some stuff from eBay, and a couple cards from some breaks. So let's get into it. We'll start off with some modern stuff. Actually, the newest product out as of now. We're about a week plus away from Bowman's release, but Topps Chrome Black 2024. Beautiful looking product. They've done this for the last 3-4 years. It's a great looking product. It's just pricey. This year's came out at $150 a box, and I think they're closer to $200 now, and you only get 4 cards per pack plus an autograph. So obviously $150 for a hobby box doesn't sound bad until you realize just how few cards you get. So it's definitely one of those products you're better off buying singles of for sure. Even if you're buying like $200-$300 cards, I mean, you're just not going to hit those cards. And I've watched a good amount of breaks, and there's definitely some great cases, but there's some skunk cases as well. Regardless, here's the Bryce Harper base and the Trey Turner base. I know there's a Johan Rojas base as well, and I think there might be one more Phillies base player, but there's a few guys that have autographs that don't have base cards. Ryan Howard is one of them, and Mike Schmidt. So I like picking up some of the Topps Chrome Black. They're just great looking cards, and really the camera's not even going to do it complete justice. You need to see them in hand. It's got the combination of matte finish and the glossy finish, and really the base cards, for how expensive the product is, they're relatively cheap. I mean, the biggest of big stars you're going to get for $10 to $15 at most, and you know, if you wait on it or if you hunt around, you'll probably get some for only a couple dollars. Some of the rookies maybe be a little more, but cool Bryce Harper and Trey Turner for the collection. And then I also picked up this Trey Turner gold, or yellow, I should say, logo fractor from Topps Chrome Logo Fractor Edition. I believe that's what it's called. I didn't get any of these this past year. This year they were actually exclusive to the MLB store in New York. Previous years you were able, or the previous year you were able to order some via Topps.com. But pretty cool design. You got the MLB logo refractor in the background. It's serial numbered to 75. So nice Trey Turner card. Was able to combine that in shipping along with this one. This is actually, I'm not usually a huge fan of the manufactured Relics Topps puts out, but I will say the last few years they've done a better job of it. There's still kind of like bogus hits, but you know you're getting one in a jumbo box. But the Home Sweet Home is what this one's called, and you have a nice image of Citizens Bank Park, and they obviously do it for all the different teams and players, and I think they're neat. If you're a player collector or team collector, I think it's a cool relic-y type of card to pick up for your PC. And again, they're not going to be expensive. This one is numbered to $299. This might be the black parallel, which I didn't care if there's a parallel. I got this fairly cheap, but again, you'll be able to get these at decent prices. They can range anywhere from like $5 to $20 depending on the player. So they're neat cards in my opinion. So that's a nice one for the Phillies collection. And then I had this come in from Topps. I almost forgot about some of these. The Topps Now Relics. These were going on sale during the postseason run, and the Phillies look kind of destined to reach the World Series. You never know what's going to happen when you get there, but I was picking up some of these. This is Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Pair's 11th blast for Phillies in postseason, tied both for most in club history. They are tied with Jason Worth, who was fantastic in the postseason back between 2007 and 2010. Probably a mistake to have let him go after 2010. I know the Jason Worth contract at the time was seen as an overpay, but honestly, probably, I don't know how you could rank it, but it was not a bad contract. 7 years, $100+ million. Worth, obviously, by the end of that contract, wasn't the same player, but he helped. I think he played a really significant role in stabilizing the Nationals and legitimizing that franchise and helping to develop some of the young players, guys like Bryce Harper and other players, and getting Max Scherzer there and stuff that eventually led to a championship in Washington. Now, Worth wasn't part of that team, but the Phillies were not the same really after letting him walk, and instead they gave a contract to Cliff Lee, who had a couple fantastic years, but also stole money and didn't even show up for the last couple years of that contract as well, which is so often the case for 6-7 year contracts. Anyway, this is a relic card. It's serial number to 49. This is the blue parallel. They do various parallels of these, but they're pretty neat. It's a cool card. That one, I guess, is from Game 5 of the NLCS, so as of now, that's the last postseason game the Phillies have won. And then, unfortunately, fell short in Game 6 and 7. Unfortunate for me and other Phillies fans. I guess fortunate if you're a Diamondbacks fan. I know there's a handful of them out there, but there sure as heck ain't many overall. So those are the modern pickups. Now for the pre-war and vintage pickups. Here is an old Judge. Never bad to pick up an old Judge. This is an 1887 N172 old Judge, Jack Clements. You see him catching. This is an authentic altered blank back. Really neat. I mean, old Judges are awesome. If you don't own an old Judge and you're a baseball card collector, enthusiast, whatever, I suggest at some point you pick one up now. I'm not saying rush out and just buy one, but you can find someone who's semi-affordable. Now, old Judges are not cheap. You're not going to be able to pick one up most likely for, $20 or something. But you can get some at reasonable prices that present fairly well, and you can find some reason to have a strong interest, whether it's a player who's from your hometown or played for your favorite franchise, or maybe you just like the image. But this is a cool one. I mean, these are awesome to have in your collection. So Jack Clements was a catcher. I want to say he probably played, I'm not sure how long he played. He probably played like 15 years, honestly. He was 1880s, 1890s. He played most of his career for the Phillies. I think a year or two he went elsewhere, but he was actually a pretty good player, catcher for the Phillies. Put up pretty solid offensive stats. Had a couple top 10 WAR seasons. I know I saw there was one year he had 17 home runs, which I think that was like 1893, which is a substantial amount of home runs for that period of time. But the Phillies, especially in 1893, had a really good offensive team. They had a few Hall of Famers in the outfield with Sam Thompson and Ed Delahanty, but their pitching staff was awful. Like, everyone had ERAs in the 4s and 5 range. And Clements was also actually technically a Phillies manager. During his playing career, he took over at one point. He managed 19 games. I think it was the 1890 season, but I don't remember exactly offhand. The Phillies were pretty good. I know they had a winning record in the handful of games that he had managed. So that's just, awesome on so many levels. Just the fact that it's an old Judge, the image, the clarity. That some of the old Judges you have to watch, they're kind of very faded. This has a really great image. And it's just he's not a complete nobody for the Phillies. Sometimes you're going to get guys on these cards that only played, 20 games or something. This guy was around for over a decade and, like I said, put up some pretty good offensive seasons for that time period. So that's just awesome for the collection. Thrilled to add that. All right, and now the last batch of stuff I have to show off are some 1952 Star Cal decals. So I have this one here. This is one I already had. This isn't a new pickup. Picked this one up at the National a couple years ago. This is the 52 Star Decals Type 2, no envelope, Richie Ashburn, and an EX Mint 6. So as of the time I bought this, at least, and I'm not one to go and kind of research everything that I've picked up or follow up on prices, but at the time of the purchase, this was the highest graded example, at least by PSA, and it's a beautiful looking card. It's amazing it was kept in such great condition. So these ones will not be in that condition at all, but these ones have the envelope. And some of these were bought in a lot, so I'm definitely planning on keeping 2 of them, and then the others will get moved off. But here's the same Ashburn, this one, of course, with the envelope, but definitely much more worn and beat up, but it's definitely cool to have it with the envelope there. So you can use it on mirrors and books and school cases, windshields, so many different things, luggage. So pretty neat. Of course, these are tough to find. I mean, you can definitely find them at the auction houses. These are the types of items you will see, at the National if you're looking for them. Maybe some of the bigger vintage shows, but you're not going to see them every day because, of course, a lot of people used them and put them to their luggage and their books and lockers or whatever they did with them back at the time. But there's a Type 2 Richie Ashburn with the envelope. And then we've got Ralph Kiner, baseball movie television stars, 10 cents. Star Cal decals. So Ralph Kiner. We have the Philadelphia Athletics. This is a duel. I believe it's Ferris Fain and Gus Zernial. So just really neat items. And then the Type 1s, I got 3 of them here. It's Gus Zernial for the Philadelphia Athletics, 15 cents. And then we've got Kurt Simmons, which is awesome. Had not seen a Kurt Simmons before. And then a Richie Ashburn. So the Ashburn and the Simmons are definitely planned for the PC. Didn't have those Type 1s, so thrilled to add those. The others will be inevitably listed for sale. They will definitely not be cheap at all, and they're definitely items that I would like to move to get some money back, but I'm not looking to make that quick sale. Anyway, comment below, let me know what you think of the pickups, and I will talk to you next time. Have a great one.